Hi guys, welcome back to our final video presentation. Oops, dropped my pen. To start off this Who Am I paper, I will start off with a quote from page 47. And that is, "Who am I? Cultural beliefs and values provide the anchoring points to which we attach meanings and significance to our complex identities. Cultural value patterns form the basic criteria through which we evaluate our own behaviors and the behaviors of others. They cue our expectations of how we should act and how others should act during an interaction. They serve as implicit guidelines for our motivations, expectations, perceptions, and communicative actions. They set the emotional tone for interpreting the behavior of cultural strangers." So throughout this presentation, I will discuss my three identities that I first chose in my original Who Am I paper. And that was my heritage of being an American, being an athlete, and being a cosmetologist. And which each of these things, I will discuss my value patterns that come with them, and then two concepts that apply to them as well. So to start off, I'm an American. And if you trace me all the way back, I am a Scotch-Irish American from Clan Farquharson, which would now be Ferguson, from Scotland. Sorry, my computer is going to fall. Grew up as an American in a very personal family position. We were encouraged to speak up, to add ideas to the family, to have meetings with our parents if we didn't agree on something, if we needed help with something, if we had a question. There was obviously boundaries where you comes to a point where if you're disrespecting, that was not okay. But we were very much so encouraged to learn, to grow, to ask questions with our parents, and for them to learn and grow with us. They enjoy learning from us as well. And also, I think in my overall value patterns as an American, I am more of a universalism viewpoint on how conflict should be handled. I think you should see things from perspective, like kind of meta ethics as well. You should see things from perspective, situational. You should be unbiased. You should not take sides when making a choice in order to make the best choice. And also, small power distance, which is quoted on page 51. Small power distance cultures value equal power distributions, equal rights and relations, and equitable rewards and punishments on the basis of performance. And that kind of ties right into coming from a personal family member as well. And lastly, as an American, I also see myself having being a horizontal self-construal, which prefers informal, symmetrical interactions regardless of people's position, status, or age. And so that's kind of my cultural values as an American. If I were to move on to athlete, I would say I have a feminine value pattern, and that is quoted as on page 58 as femininity pertains to societies in which social gender roles are fluid and can overlap. That is, whatever a woman can do, a man can do, and vice versa. As an athlete, men did it first, and whatever a man can do, a woman can do. And I have played on intramural teams, and I have played on just women teams, and I love it both ways. I'm also forced to be a little bit more of an interdependent self-construal, whereas you have to fit in with your in-group. You don't want to create disharmony because your team's not going to play as well if there's drama going on outside the course or anything. So you're forced to be a little more of an interdependent self-construal. And then lastly, my third identity is as a cosmetologist. Very much so independent. Very, very much so independent. Which involves the view that an individual is a unique entity with an individual repertoire of feelings, cognitions, and motivations. That comes from page 66. And I would connect that to being a cosmetologist because we all have our own unique motivations, feelings, cognitions of why we love doing hair. What drives us? What is our motivation to wake up and make somebody feel good in the morning, And that is my thing. I make somebody feel good. I get to help self-esteem. That's why I enjoy it. And also, as one of the bosses at my job, small power distance. I really believe in small power distance at work, where power is evenly distributed, subordinates expect to be consulted, and the ideal boss is a resourceful Democrat. And small power distance cultures ultimately value equal power distributions, equal rights and relations, and equitable rewards and punishments on the basis of performance. And that's on page 51. And I really like this because even though I am one of the bosses, I have my lead stylist too, and I can't do everything myself, so I like to distribute power. That way they can help me and I can help them. And also, I'm very much so, if you have an issue, confront the person, whether it's me, the boss above me. If you're lower than me, it does not matter. Please come to me and tell me what's going on. And also rewards and punishments. We are a number-based salon, and so you will get rewarded for doing well, or if you don't do well, it's going to show up, and we're not personally going to punish you, but it's going to show on your pay scale. And then also low certainty avoidance, or weak uncertainty avoidance work situations. There's a greater tolerance of innovative ideas, which as a cosmetologist, I mean, yeah, you want innovative ideas. If something's not working, let's find a different way. If this hairstyle is not working for you, let's find a new innovative idea. Let's make something work. And then, like I have said, very, very much so horizontal, self-construal, and that I prefer informal, symmetrical interactions, again, regardless of people's position, status, or age. And this one hits very close to home to me because I am the absolute youngest person at my job, and that can, in the beginning, caused conflict when I became some of the older ladies' boss. So regardless of status, age, position, I do not care about that. I want everybody to be treated the same because I was originally not, and that was not okay. So yeah, that was that. And then two of the concepts that really stuck out to me through this whole course, sorry, there's shadows on my face, through this whole course, was being an individualist and then gender roles. Relating to being an athlete, I'm very much so an individualist, very, very much so an individualist, even though I have to be independent and not cause conflict. In that I put myself overall, ultimately, myself and my stats, my personal stats, they always came first, because if I'm not making my stats, I wasn't going to get scouted or anything like that, which didn't happen because I busted my ACL. But before that, you kind of have to do what's best for you and make your own shots and everything. But you also kind of have to put the better of the team first, too. But yeah, so as an individualist, because I needed those scholarships. And gender roles with athletes stood out to me because I was not taught gender roles as a child. We were taught, if you want to do something, you do something. And women are typically seen as weaker, and women's sports aren't taken as serious. You never hear about, there's no March Madness for women. And so I kind of broke that boundary myself by becoming the captain of my first college when I was 18 intramural dodgeball team, which wasn't much, but it's still cool. And then also, relating those concepts to being a cosmetologist, I'm again very much so an individualist, and that I want all the clientele and I want all the tip money to be obviously I want my staff to do well, but I want it myself. So I'm going to do everything I can to make this client love this haircut so that they come back to me personally. And then also the gender role at work is I do have a couple male employees that I am the boss of them, and they have no management position at all. And it's not a problem for them, but it's a problem for our clients who sometimes see them as higher than me even though they are not. And that can be very frustrating, and my males are very supportive in that they support me and they turn those clients to me instead. And these are some of the concepts in the value planners I've taken away from this course. So as an American, as an athlete, as a cosmetologist, all these things, I am not only just an individualist. I have aspects of collectivism, you know, just not one thing defines you. And I think that's really awesome. And I took so much away from this course and how I can now interact with others. And I'm happy to be an athlete and a Cosmo and an American. And I'm happy to have these identities attached to me. And I'm happy to be able to understand what everything means. And I can now break it down. And to be an independent, have weak uncertainty avoidance, small power distance, all those are things I will take with me and I will integrate to my children someday. And I hope that they continue to integrate them into their children or whatever lifestyle they may choose, you know. I hope that they can understand themselves as well as I've learned to understand myself. And with that said, that is the end of my presentation. And I hope to see some of your guys' faces or names in my next classes. Thank you.